Hey, what's happening, people? Let me see if I can get everything in order right now. My camera needs to be turned on. There we go. How's everybody doing today? What's happening? It is Solo, and welcome to my very first live stream in a very long time. And it's crazy because what is bringing me here today is something that I hadn't hoped wasn't ideal. It wasn't ideal, um, but it's important, and I figured, what better way to start my live streaming journey as I prepare to launch my course than with something that was actually meaningful. You know what I mean? Something that was actually meaningful. And so hopefully you guys will hang out for a little bit and join me. Let me see, make sure Instagram is up and going. I've got several things going on. Hello, Instagram. Hello, Facebook, Periscope, YouTube. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad that you guys are hanging out with me on today. And so, I am new to this live streaming. I'm really new. I'm really new. And so that's okay. That's okay. Despise not the days of small beginnings. And so if you're joining me on Instagram and on D Live and on Facebook and Periscope, welcome. I am Dr. Perry, also known in the art world as Solo. I am the most famous artist you have probably never heard of. And so with that being said, I'm not even going to go into a long introduction because it's not necessary. Hopefully you guys are here for some good art, but I want to share with you why and what I'm drawing today. This is a why draw today. I got a phone call from someone very special to me today, and long story short, her life was taken far too soon. I don't know the family, but I'm a father and I'm a grandfather, and a young life has left this world way too soon. And I was contacted because the grandparents of this young man said that he was a profound comic book fan, and apparently he had some learning disabilities, and but he did learn to read comics. You know what I mean? And if you guys think that comics don't matter, think again. Think again. Lives are touched by this craft and this gift that we've been given. And so, though I had other things on my agenda today, this takes precedence. And so this definitely takes precedence. And so with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get started here. But I decided the grandparents wanted some type of angel type superhero. And so with that being said, man, Angel of the X-Men popped in, and we're going to go ahead and give this family, I'm going to go ahead and give this family my best. Apparently this is probably going to be used in the service on his in his obituary. And so to me, that's more important than most of the stuff that's on the newsstands. And so let's go ahead and let's get started with this. Now, maybe if someone's there, maybe you guys can help me out a little bit. I'm trying to figure out really, how to best go about this. We've got multiple options here. We have, hey, hello, Instagram. We have the Mixed Media Strathmore, and we have 2 blank sketch covers of the X-Men. I'm inclined with the Strathmore. If someone has a different opinion, let me know. Share with me. The reason why I'm inclined with the Strathmore is because it's bigger, more surface area, number one. And number two, if it's going to appear on a cover of something or as an insert, the title might not be the best addition to the image. even though, you know, we value sketchbooks and all that other stuff. And so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and do the Strathmore. I'm convinced. I'm convinced. Turn you guys so you guys can check me out. What's up, Instagram people? mic is on. Are you guys picking me up now? You guys got me now? Chuck, Facebook family. Can't hear anything. Can you hear me now? My lips move and nothing's coming out. How about now? No, no, no. I'm going to check off here for a second, Instagram people, and get the majority of the streamers, and I'm gonna get you guys a good view of smart work. Good to go? Said I'm good to go. Good. I think my mic got unplugged. I think my mic got unplugged. Yeah. And I can kind of hear my little echo. Yeah, I think my mic got unplugged. It's all good. It's all good. It's all part of the process. Trust the process. Okay. So we got everybody set up. We got audio with everyone. Cool. All right. As I was saying before, you guys couldn't hear me. Facebook. This is a piece that I'm doing. I got contacted today regarding a young man who just passed last week, and we are going to bless the family because he was special needs. He was only 13. And that in and of itself, as we all know, is a tragedy. That's a tragedy. No parent should have to feel that, and no grandparent should have to feel that. And so, yeah, man, it's this is going to be a real one. This is going to be a real one. I'm setting up visuals for Instagram. There we go. And making sure that everybody's seeing me everywhere. This is like more than a notion, man. This is like work. Okay, there's my stream with everybody. Woo! Cool. Cool. All right. My chat window works. Hope Vanessa's still here. All right, so we're going to do Angel of the X-Men. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do Angel of the X-Men. And we're going to... I told them that I'd have this to them by tomorrow, even though they don't need it till Monday. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm just going to start laying out something that I'll think will fit. Angel's biggest problem graphically is the fact that his wings are huge, right? And they take up a lot of real estate visually. A lot of the images that we get of Angel are partial wings, you know what I mean? And so I have to come up with a design that kind of allows for, his wingspan. Hey, Britneck Arts on Instagram. Hey, Joy. What's happening? You say get back to work, slacker. Man, I got so much stuff going on. If you guys knew what was happening, my studio is a literal wreck. It's a literal wreck. You know what I mean? And so I want to give this family really something really I want to give them my best, man. Like I said, the story that was told to me, I'm sure nobody wants to be pitied. And that's not where I'm coming from. But when I tell you, my heart broke when I heard the story. You know, and this was just, this just came my way. Um, not even an hour ago. I created the graphics for the going live and all of this stuff like literally an hour ago, people. And so, yeah, you know. And if we can't use our gifts and our talents to bless other people, then what do we have them for? It's not all about making a buck. We know that money, survival, it's finances. Changed since I was up there. It's reversed. you know, we know all that, but at the same time, this is a human thing. You know what I mean? And when you have children and grandchildren, those of you who do, I'm sure you all can relate. 13 years old. 13 years old. And so that's all I can say. Those of you know that who know me know that I have a studio, and angels are kind of our flagship product, which is ironic, considering what this is for. And the funny thing is, this is not even my first memorial piece. I had one a couple of years ago. I had a piece a couple of years ago. Young family that mom was a former police officer, and they followed me on Facebook. And she was a huge Batman fan, and the husband inboxed me and told me his wife's plight, and she's no longer with us. Luckily, I was able to shift some things around to bless them with a piece, an original piece. It was actually a cover. It was actually a cover, a sketchbook cover. I have a tendency to draw. I start off with very big heads. My guy Elliot Fernandez, he's like the king of heads. I start with a very big head and I end up whittling them back to make them fit. Has what changed since you were up here, Chuck? It's reversed. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. Those who came in at 12:30, thank you. I'd like to get some feedback on my waiting screens. I wanted to make the process of waiting while I did a poor job of preparing. Hopefully you guys hang in there with me. I plan on giving you guys a really good production every time I go live. I don't take your eyes for granted. Know that. I do not take your eyes for granted. Those who are watching and joining me, you could be watching anybody else. Oh, the studio's reversed. My studio. You guys could be watching anybody else. You guys are hanging out with me, and I take that seriously. See if I can get the Instagram people a better view. I have this magic arm thing going. Instagram people get y'all a better shot. That's not what I meant to do. Reverse. There we go. Sorry. So yeah, I'm keeping in mind that this is probably going to be used in some type of print capacity. right? I don't know what they had in mind. So I really can't control the wings going off the paper. I'd rather them go off the paper and add some graphic value, some graphical value, than not be enough. Okay. I hope is my camera autofocusing? I hope my camera's not autofocusing on you guys. Let me see. Let me get my settings. This is all stuff that I should have had down. I tell you, this was like very impromptu. Man. Okay. Let's go wide. Boom, 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 boom. Advanced. Autofocus off. Brightness up. Yes. Let's zoom in. Okay. Hopefully you guys are getting a better image now. There we go. There you go. Cool. Move this over here. There we go. And no wonder you're shaking. I forgot my wife on my stand, and she moved it, which is why my camera's slightly off. See, a little bit of preparation goes a long way, folks. Goes a long way. And I called myself having been prepared. Apparently, I wasn't. Apparently, I wasn't. So, apologies. But the show goes on, right? Right? Show goes on. It's got to go on. Got no choice. You checking Instagram now, Chuck? Chuck is my right hand dude. He's one of the founding members, emeritus, which we got some really good things coming up the pipeline. So I had to tilt this. Right, Warren Worthington. Plotting end is here. The Facebook feed, yeah, it's with like a 5-second delay, and the only way to get around that is to, hey, delighted snail, how's it going? The only way to get around that really is faster than light, which with this platform is not available to me. You know, I like to make sure that everything is. Hey, thanks for joining, Delighted Snail. Thank you so much. You know, I like to make sure that everything is tight and well put together, but that's kind of beyond my control, right? We're going to go with the classic Angel from the X-Men. I might spruce up his outfit a little bit, right? But I love the simplicity of his outfit on the original design. Why is my stuff moving? See his outfit, the original design of it, you know. And so I just bring this arm here, kind of back, kind of out of the way. And I like to draw the original point for, you know what I mean? There is a methodology to the wings. It's funny, after years of drawing my stuff for Honor Studios, the Angels, I kind of have become a wing aficionado. All right. I guess it's bound to happen whenever you are committed to the thing. So got the wings joining right there behind the shoulder blades. And what I like to do is I like to have a little peek out point, like a little tuft juncture. Not that it's necessary, but I visually show where, look, a little hint of where they join at the back, right? And we're going to dial that back a little bit, but I just like to get it in place. So listen, I don't want this to even be a somber piece. Like, this is a memorial piece, but it ends me. But I'm glad that I can bless a family in some small way. And so with that, I'm grateful. You know, I'm grateful to have been selected for this. You know, when people have something that's meaningful for them and you're the first person that comes to mind, that's a big deal, man. That's a big deal. You know what I mean? And boom, 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 I'm checking, you know, making sure everything's in order. Listen, those of you live streaming experts using OBS, man, I salute you. In Notion. I see why many of them only come on like once or twice a week, not daily. But I'm sure once I get my system down, it'll be a lot easier. I'm getting some repair. Something's not. I don't know which channel is not muted. I think it's Facebook. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Cool beans. Cool beans. And so I'll put that. I'll kind of tilt his body this way. So this is going to be the line of force. I'm thinking about maybe got the basic structure down. Now it's important that whenever you're drawing anybody, hey Jay Works, what's happening? Whenever you guys are drawing anything that is a pre-established, a pre-existing character, make sure it stays contextually accurate. Now, granted, that's a great thing, right? But when something is has a model for it, you know, um, and you know you're really, you know, drawing it for fun. You know, this is not what I consider fun. I'm trying to stay kind of on model for this comic book fan, right? So I really add a whole lot, even though I'm going to add some things, some small alterations to Angel's appearance. His legs. Boom, 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 boom. That looks weird. That looks weird. I'm having a problem with my camera. I don't like the way my camera looks on OBS. Let me see. It's blurry. Focus. There we go. I don't know what that is calling me. I'm going to decline that. Okay. So we got a little bit of this knee here. I'm gonna erase that weird part. is, so Angel is not a bulky guy. He's kind of lean and slender, right? Because his forte really isn't fighting, right? It really is like stealth and aerial. Hey Jay, what's happening? And aerial reconnaissance, right? And I've always been a huge fan of function following, design, right? It's okay when you add something a little different in the mix. Like I said, I'm not one to quell creativity. That's not what I'm saying. But I do like form follows function. You know what I mean? And so, of all the X-Men, for the longest time, Angel was considered one of the most ineffective in combat until they, the whole Apollo, right? And they made him Archangel, gave him the razor blade wings and all of that, right? Gave him the superhuman strength and all of that. Good stuff. So I want to kind of have his something crash on me. So something popped up on me. I don't even know what that popped up. Okay. Make sure everyone's still picking me up okay. My stuff like acting weird. Make sure I'm looking here. Alright, cool. I'm starting now to kind of commit to some of these lines. And all that means is I'm drawing harder. Right? Things that I'm going to do when I launch my online school is, it's kind of like how, even, many people don't know I'm a police supervisor, 9 to 5, temporarily. And so one of the things that is happening with a lot of major departments is, all the television speak that you guys hear, departments are getting away from that because it's not easily translatable in court, right? And those that are not in the profession, things have to be kind of plain and simple, right? All the codes and, the most common one that we are familiar with is 10-4, right? Or 187, right? And so my point is, there are a lot of technical terms in art and design, right? And I'm self-taught, okay? Let's just get that out the way right now. I'm self-taught. I'm not a scholar by most people's typical standards. But if you saw a shot of my studio, I have a college I've taken collegiate worth courses, spent thousands of dollars on honing my craft, okay? And though I don't believe you have to necessarily go to school to be good at something if you're committed to it. And I've been doing this my whole life. My mom said I first started drawing things that were recognizable at the age of 3. And then by the time I was a teenager, I got my first professional art employment at the ripe old age of 13. Designing shirts for a lady, making more money than I'd seen, that I thought was possible, and with what I did. And she taught me so much about being a professional. I had deadlines, the whole 9 yards, and then I got into, years later I got into animation, and found a mentor at an animation studio that I interned at, and got to work on some really cool things. really cool things. I know most fans and geeks, that stuff matters. Believe it or not, I've come to realize it doesn't matter. Outside of your own personal resume, if you're trying to get a job, it matters because people want to see what you've done. What I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to teach. I've done enough. You know, I've worked on video games. I've worked on things that have been on television. You know, I've got some small Marvel industry creds to, you know, that stuff is great. It's great. But what I want to do now is I want to teach people how to overcome certain hurdles when it comes to the craft and pursue their own dreams and goals, you know, however that looks for them. You know, if you just want to be good personally. And here's the thing, what inspired me to create my course is have a family, a young family, and not knowing what I didn't know, right? And then seeing all the courses that were available. Granted, there's nothing new under the sun. There's some really good courses out there. I've taken a few, but there's also a lot of crappy ones. I think I've taken more crappy ones than I've taken good ones. And by that experienced, you know, and then the courses that I really wanted to take, I couldn't afford because they were high-priced items. You know what I mean? They were just high-priced items beyond my comfort zone. You know, with a young family. Let's keep saying that, young family, right? And so, yeah, man. I said I need to create a course for people that were in the same boat as me. You know, that know what it's like, aren't trying to farm, pursue their passion, right? Because they have one foot in the real world. Hey, Artane, what's happening? They have one foot in the real world and are dealing with some real stuff, you know, some real stuff. And so I call myself creating the course that I wish was around when I was first learning how to draw. That's really it. You know, affordable, high quality content, access to the actual content creator, you know, and a supportive community. And so it's a long time in the making. I got some people that are patient with me and waiting for it to come out. You know, for those of you who believe it or not, I hate talking about myself. So what I've done, but if you got questions, feel free to ask. Oh, he's a 3D animator? I'm sorry, I'm just seeing this check. I had put my feet out of the way. And so, let's get his nose established. I think that's a pretty strong pose. His legs throw me off a little bit, but I'll figure it out. I don't know how much of it should I show. I think I'll just show all of it and keep the design kind of simple. This wasn't on my plan today. Streaming or drawing. I'm supposed to be building websites in preparation for a television interview I got coming up. More content and comment after. I haven't been sure if taking a detailed classes on portrait is overkill or totally necessary at this point. It depends. Like you said, you really want to focus on cartoon or comic. This is a question from Delighted Snail on Instagram. All right. I'm a beginner and I've been looking for courses. And given that my interest is more cartoon or comic type drawing, I haven't been sure if taking detailed classes on portraiture is overkill. I would not worry about if it's overkill or not. Base each class on its own merit. Okay. Now you have to understand comics and cartoons are based on a realism foundation. They're exaggerations of realism. All right. And so that's what we have to understand. Most artists, including myself, I started off just drawing the fun stuff and didn't get a human anatomy until later. Right. And it's because I wanted to go dive right into what I was really interested in. Now, there's a plus minus for that, right? That's the path of many artists. Okay, don't get it twisted. That's the path of many artists. You jump right into comics or cartoons, right? And they carve out a niche. I know some pro friends of mine that did just that. We took drawing or any of that other stuff. There's a distinct difference that I've noticed with those who have and those who haven't. Me, if you're asking my personal opinion, I'm a completist, right? Not a perfectionist, a completist. I like to know that my skill set is complete, right? That if called upon or if the assignment to do something more detailed, that I'm not typecast or pigeonholed into a specific style because of a deficiency, right? I believe personally, and I'm sure those will disagree, I believe that a weakness anywhere is weakness everywhere. And that's the truth. We're only and so if you feel that taking a portraiture class will benefit you, I know that it will benefit you, number one, because comics, once again, comics and animation and cartoons are exaggerated versions of realism. Let's understand that. That's what they are at their core, right? And if you have that foundation, it will only help you, right? Whether the course is good or not, I cannot tell you, right? But learning and mastering the human form, I think, is a must for any artist that are to draw that form in any capacity. Okay, you don't know what to exaggerate if you don't know what's supposed to be there. Does that make sense? Or did I just give you just a run on and you didn't pick me up at all? Delightful snail, a delighted snail. Okay, I'm not trying to overcomplicate it. I'm just giving you my take on it. Okay, money's an issue. All right, you may not need to. Okay, great. Now, if money's an issue, right now in my course that I'm launching, there will be some real life stuff in it. But I'm going to focus and get you really into the stuff that you want to do, right? The comic arts. The foundational stuff is necessary, right? But I won't waste time. I won't waste a whole lot of time on it, okay? Only because I believe that how far you go down that rabbit hole is dependent upon you. I don't believe you need to know medical terms for muscles, right, to draw them, right? I that many of the great artists of old had master degrees in anatomy. Okay, I think some people just like to show off how smart they are. Okay, I believe that's necessary, but what I do believe is that having a foundational grasp of at least what's supposed to be there, right, will help strengthen your art as a whole. Okay, how far you go down that path is up to you. I never went too far down it, me personally. Okay, I got good enough at realism and anatomy so that I can translate that into comics and cartoons. All right, and once I got the word I'm looking for is competent. I got competent there, right? And I believe that competency is an absolute must. Any of you pros out there, any other artists want to disagree? I can handle it. You gotta remember, I'm a cop. I'm used to being disagreed with. I have a friend here in St. Louis that goes with OBS, but here's a 3D animator. Yeah, we just acquired a very talented 3D animator here at Honor Studios, Chuck. I haven't talked to you, man. He's incredible, man. He's done the logo of the game in 3D. Right now, he's working on 3D of the studio logo so that I can animate it in After Effects. How does that look? I want to make sure these wings are on point. Yeah, I don't know, Delight, to know what your finances are like, but I know these courses get expensive. And if I sound like I'm throwing shit, it's because I am. If I'm being quite honest, you know, some of these courses are ridiculously expensive for things that you can indeed find elsewhere. And if at all free. A lot of times we pay for courses because of the name, right? Because of who's attached to it. But just because you're good at it doesn't mean you're good at teaching it. You know, ask Magic Johnson or Michael Jordan if you're a basketball fan. Great players, Hall of Famers. One was a horrible coach, Magic Johnson, and one is considered the worst owner in the NBA, and that's Michael Jordan, right? And so just because you're good in one area doesn't necessarily mean you're qualified in every aspect of that arena, okay? Just like any other arena, it's multifaceted, right? Certain skill sets are required. Like for teaching, a big one is communication, right? That's a big one. In a way that's it's received, understood. Yeah, it is. And shameless plug here, Delighted Snail. That's my course. My course is targeted for people like us. I was, you know, a young, I'm still young by most people's standards. I'm a grandpa now, but I was a young dad, 4 kids, mortgage, working 6 nights a week plus a part-time job, because I wasn't ingrained in the industry enough to afford the ups and downs that come with the industry, but I still had this burn to learn and for mastery, right? And the courses that I came across, the ones that were affordable, many of them were crap. And the ones that were really good, they were way out of my price range. I'm like, there has to be a competition here. And then it got to the point to whereas when I was able to start investing some money here and there, I'll be honest with you, I just got tired of seeing disembodied voices, hands drawing on a piece of paper like you're seeing right now, right? This is fine for live streaming, right, and growing an audience. But for the course that I wanted to have interaction with the instructor. You know, I wanted something that was a little bit more akin to mentorship, right? I know people have, you know, lives, and everyone can't afford to devote a whole lot of time to people that they don't know. You know, that's the world that we live in, granted. But I was mentored in animation, right? An incredible animator, and I'm actually starting a local jam here. It's going to meet once a month, and he's going to be coming. I'm so honored. But a local animator with the studio that I was interning, he took a shining to me and just basically took me under his wing, and he mentored me. He made time out of his night, like week, and I would go to his house, and he would teach me stuff that I could not learn from a book, that I could not learn from a video. You know what I'm saying? It was huge for me. You know, it was huge for me. And so, yeah, trust me when I tell you, I get it. I get it. Well, boom, boom, his hands a little bit. You can see a little bit top like that. You see, I also like to support and learn, and to learn from Black and brown, and to have models that are not just European American or Japanese in the case of manga. That's a profound and very insightful statement. Um, you seem like a very deep thinker. Now, obviously, as an African American male, peep the chocolate, right? Don't think that the disparity in the industry is lost. I'm sure many artists of color would agree that there needs to be more of a not only in the industry on the major titles, but also, behind the cameras, behind the scenes of, you know, qualified people of color. The imbalances, this is just, I'm not going on a racial tangent, but in my life, I have not history of ignoring current events and conditions. I haven't had that luxury, right? And so the need for qualified, i.e. qualified, I'm not one for people getting positions and assignments and jobs based on color alone. One of the defining moments in my art journey was when I had done something for a small press company years ago, and it was an African company, and small press, independent. He ended up being a shyster on the cash flow, but I had done appearance or shown some pages or something. Anyway, I was behind the table and people were looking at it, right? I forget what it was. I'm old, forgive me. But one of the and the person, he was a Caucasian young man, and he said, "No offense, man." He said, "No offense. I hope you can appreciate this." He said, "But when I saw your artwork," he said, "I was, and then when I saw you were black, I was surprised." And so at first, me being young and militant, I was like, "Wow!" But then it kind of struck me that there was a stigma of. Is there a stigma? It was a question I had to pose to myself. Is there a stigma of unprofessionalism or incompetence in this industry when it comes to art? Granted, I know that's not a fundamental truth. And especially as it pertains to comics, I'm a huge fan of Sanford Green and Ryan Benjamin, right, and LaShawn Thomas and Chris Copeland, and there's some great artists. My buddy Dion Knuckles, incredible artists of color that I know personally. But this was coming from a fan who was an avid fan that I later found out because we ended up communicating sometime afterwards. And when I really started, and I hadn't looked at my ever, right? And when I really started looking at the titles, there really weren't a whole lot of people out there that looked like me. Even my influences were not people of color. You know what I'm saying? They were European, literally. I've always been a fan of artists from Europe and from Spain and from Carlos Pacheco, and even from Canada. Even though they're technically European, but there were literally very few African American artists that I wanted to emulate style, or felt that I could glean from, or go out and just grab their stuff off the shelf. And I remember when Milestone Comics came out. Oh my gosh, that was transformative for me. That was so transformative. Okay. And I became a huge Milestone fan, and granted, we're not talking, I'm not over, okay, I'm not, I'm not that, I'm very aware of who and what I am, very comfortable with who and what I am, and aware of the I'm the father of two, African American men, right? And I had to prepare them for the world and for what they were going to face. Things have gotten better, yes, all around, yes, but we still got a long way to go. So but what we can do is take improvement for idealism. We have to take improvement at face value. You know what I mean? Improvement at face value. So You know, I'm like, yeah, it's better, but it's better, but it's relative to what? You know, are where we need to be? And the answer is no. You know, do I think we'll get there? Absolutely. You know, with the right people, with the right attitude, with people doing things for the right reasons, absolutely, I think we'll get there. You know, as it pertains to our industry, yeah, we need more people of color that are capable, you know, and professional and competent in the craft. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm having a tough time with this leg. I'm just gonna say that right now. I'm having a tough time with that leg. And I'm not the type of dude, I ain't afraid to say it. The leg is giving me the bugs. Boom. And I want that. I want that line of force and then that down to the middle. Boom. So yeah. But thank you for your question and your comment. If anybody else, it's telling me use disable low latency mode. In settings, I don't know. I'm sorry, Twitch. Sorry, Twitch. Is video buffering? Yes. Use the low latency toggle under the advanced menu in settings to disable low latency. Advanced. Boom. Disable low latency. Done. Bow. Got it. Thank you for asking. I love the company. Like I said, this is my first live stream in a while. I think the experience may be a little better on the other platforms, for what it's worth. But yeah, I'm trying some new things. I'm stepping out there finally. I've been procrastinating on it, quite honestly. Even though this is Instagram, I'm trying to hit everybody. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. I appreciate it. You have a great day. So we have a nice strong silhouette. I'm going to go ahead and log off here and lick my wounds for my first live stream. Because I really don't know how we're rocking. I got to make some adjustments, and I'm going to make those adjustments. And the next time I come on, we're going to be a little. Next time after that, we're going to be a little better than that, right? And it's all about improving the experience until we hit that sweet spot where you guys are like, man, go check out Solo at Ka-Pow Art Academy, the most famous art. With that being said, I'm going to get out of here. It is 20 minutes to 2. I've been out here a little bit longer than I expected. So thanks for joining me. Those of you who decided to vent, appreciate it. Thank you, Delighted Snail. I appreciate the vote of confidence. That blesses me. God bless you guys, and have a great day. I'll see you guys soon, very soon. Maybe even tonight. Peace. Okay. We're going to go back to this. So yeah, this was an eventful trial. An eventful trial. I don't know how it turned out. I don't know if apparently good or not, but we'll chalk this up to the old experience bag. Yes, absolutely. All right, I'm going to stop the stream, and thank you guys for hanging out with me. And we got some great things going on here. Trust me. You guys have only seen the tip of the iceberg. I was just trying to get through this one. Share something that blessed me on today. So, more to come. More to come. See you guys later.